cone-shaped jet plume slowed the LEM to a safe speed as it came down in the gravitational force of the moon, field of the moon. As the astronauts adjusted the landing rocket, they relied on data from 4 radar beams pointing down at the moon's surface. The radar data was fed to the onboard computer and displayed on the instrument panel to show the astronauts the altitude and descent velocity, and also the sideward motion in a trajectory along the moon's surface. A big problem which needed to be solved during the development of the landing technology was the possibility that ionized sodium in the landing rocket plume would distort these radar beams. The engineers carefully mapped the temperature, density, and elements of the plume to determine the safest location to mount the landing radar and the best radar paths. During my time on the Apollo program, I played a large part in the study of this problem. The equipment was eventually built, installed, and tested and flown successfully on all the 11 missions. Apollo 11 was the first mission to bring a man to the moon and return safely home. Apollo 12 was another successful mission, but Apollo 13 was a different story. 56 hours into the mission, after astronauts James Lovell and John Swigert had already landed on the moon, and astronaut Fred Hayes was orbiting the moon in the command module. One of the command module oxygen tanks ruptured. This severely damaged the life support system, and so much oxygen was lost from the ruptured tank that not enough remained for the 3 astronauts to return to Earth. Luckily, however, the LEM carried extra spare oxygen to be used if the astronauts descending to the moon's surface had to move to a different, safer landing spot. And luckily, the Apollo 13 astronauts did not need to use this extra oxygen since they had found a safe landing spot very quickly. Ultimately, when the LEM returned to the command module, the 3 astronauts all squeezed into the lunar module, which was only designed for 2 men. In addition, the astronauts had to find a way to get the 3rd man to the LEM oxygen system. On any Apollo mission, the astronauts were allowed to carry a small pack with a few personal items. One of the astronauts included a small roll of duct tape and a pair of scissors in his pack. After extensive verbal communication between the astronauts in the LEM and Grumman engineers in Bethpage, New York, the astronauts were able to modify the oxygen system with the duct tape. The original mission plan was to jettison the LEM onto the moon. But now they had to bring the LEM back to Earth with a duct tape modified oxygen supply system for the 3rd astronaut. Once back in the orbit around Earth, the astronauts moved into the command module, disconnected the LEM, and maneuvered it to burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. The astronauts then re-entered the Earth's atmosphere in the command module. As the astronaut James Lovell said in his account of the accident, it was close. After Apollo 13, the LEM was modified to fully accommodate the 3 astronauts so that it could be used as a life-saving craft in the case of another emergency. However, it never had to be used that way on any of the remaining Apollo missions. A few years ago, the St. Joseph Economics Club invited the Apollo astronaut and moonwalker Buzz Aldrin to give a talk at one of their meetings. My daughter Carol and her husband Bruce had tickets but couldn't make it. So they asked me to take their son Clifford, who was 10 years old at the time. Some of you may have been there. It was a great talk. After the talk, Aldrin agreed to autograph anyone's program, and most people wanted that. In all my years on the space program, I never personally talked to Aldrin. When I reached him, I introduced Cliff and myself and briefly explained what I had done on the LEM design. He was very interested in what I said. He looked at me. I asked him to autograph Cliff's program. He looked at me and replied, "I would sign anything for anyone who had worked at Grumman." That comment really made my day. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my story for today. I wish for all of you a wonderful 4th of July celebration and enjoy the fireworks tonight. Ted, thank you. I apologize for that mistake. I saw World War II there, but I figured anybody that looked as young as Ted couldn't have been in World War II. Hey. At this time, I'd like to thank Jim and Nancy Cotis for organizing the picnic. Judy Brown for collecting all the money. Judy. The Preston family for the flagpole. Weingarten family for the front yard. Deb and Dale Hardin, a special thank you for helping with the food. Everybody's leaving me. There must be drinks open. The Grillmeister and his chefs, Doug Raybuck, Eli Raybuck, Roger Riddell, Dave Shalito for the grilling skills. Ann Campbell-Hayes, Jim Brown for the races and tennis. And lastly, we need people to help with cleanup, so do hang around and have a great, safe, happy 4th of July. USA! USA!